hello. I welcome everyone to this particular lecture. This is Dr.R.Thulasiram, Associate Professor, Department of Social Sciences, Faculty of Agricultural Sciences, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. So today's topic of discussion is social stratification. It is one of the important lectures that is coming under the course called Rural Sociology and Educational Psychology. And this particular course is falling under the first part of this course, that is rural sociology. As we are discussing about the rural sociology, we have to read something about the society, that is our Indian society. As students of agriculture, the students must read our society, particularly the agricultural society, that is Indian rural society. When they try to read the Indian rural society, they have to read what is social stratification, right? So that is why for agriculture students, this particular topic is of far importance, and we will see about that particular topic for the next 1 hour. Right. So once the human beings are born, there is no differences between persons. Once we are born as a baby, there are absolutely no differences. But still, people will find some differences between two babies. But what is the base in which they find the difference? That is the big question mark, right? So there is a famous saying in Tamil, Veer endra sattantodu rattangal kotta evvali pirandeyo avvaliye naanum pirandhen idil evvali pirandadu un saadi. That is a famous saying in Tamil that describes the bad ideology of caste system in our country, right? So everyone is born same, everyone is already a winner when they were born, but there is some difference that comes in the part of our society. But what is the base for which these differences are born? That is what we are going to see in this lecture, right? So social stratification, it categorizes this group of people into a hierarchy on the basis of wealth, status, or power. First of all, social stratification in the sense there are some differences or grouping of people in our society. Particularly in Indian society, there are some grouping of people into different categories. Okay, based on what they are grouping them, they group them into different hierarchy. What do you mean by hierarchy? Hierarchy will be in the form of triangle. You can see a triangle. The top most will have the acute side and the bottom will be the majority, but it will have least power. So they talks about the power. Okay, power in the sense we can tell about government. If there is a government institution, there will be a higher person. Okay, he will have all the powers, right? And right at the bottom, the laborers, workers, they will have less power. So this is how they have stratified. This is not only with respect to power, it is also based on the wealth of a people and status of a people. So based on these criteria, that is wealth, status, and power, people have been differentiated into different categories in our country. Right. There are some different definitions given by different socio-economists and social psychologists and all in our country. Based on them, according to Lundberg, social stratification is the division of a population into two or more layers, each of which is relatively homogeneous in nature and between which there are differences in privileges, restrictions, rewards, and obligations. That is, when you differentiate people into different stratified groups, each and every group will be homogeneous in nature. That is, when you stratify a group which has the highest power, they all will be the same in getting all the facilities, benefits in their country. That is what is mentioned as privileges, right? In the another group of people, they may be called as a least powerful people because they will be restricted to get all the rewards, benefits, obligations in their country. So this is how they have stratified people in a bad way. And according to Raymond W. Murray, social stratification is a horizontal division of society into higher and lower social groups. That is, they have divided the society into two groups, that is higher and lower social units. Right. So basically, if you can see, it is nothing but the arrangement of individuals or group of people into hierarchically arranged strata in a community. That is, in a society, people will be differentiated into different groups based on a character, right? So this social stratification means division of society into different classes. And these distinctions became patterned and stabilized over time with unequal distribution of privileges, power, and status positions. So what happened, once they have been divided into different groups, for a long period of time, these different groups have been stable. So once it has become stable, so the rich people, the high class people, so-called high class people will be getting all the benefits, and for a long period of time it has happened, it has continued, and it will remain the same for a long period of time. So it is a bad omen of our country. And at the other end, if you can see, the lowest people, what they call it as in terms of wealth, power, or any other characters, they will not get any privileges. And when the time passes on, this will be continued for a long period of years. So this will become patterned and stabilized over time in our society. So it is a bad thing not to be followed. For some extent, the stratification is needed. For most of the extent, the stratifications is a bad thing for any society. Right. So how do they stratify it? There are different types of social stratification, that is differentiation. So these stratifications are based on social class, that is high class, low class, and medium class. And gender, that is male and female, that is male can get all the things and females cannot get all the things. Ethnicity, that is their nature. For a long period of time, they may have a reputation of characters. And age, okay, young adolescent age people, older age people, right? So if you take pensions or after retirement benefits, not every people can get that. So here the stratification is important, because when you don't have stratification, each and every individual will look for a pension. So you have to stratify people into different age groups so that the children may get some benefits in terms of education, and the old age people, they can get benefits in terms of their age through some pension. So based on these 4 types, stratification is being done. So commonly for all these types, there is one thing is in common, that is the power that they possess. So in this triangle, you can see the more and more the power goes, the lesser and lesser the size of the triangle will be. That means the powerful people are more powerful, but the number of people who are highly powered, that is very less in number. And the number of people with least power in our nation, there are more in numbers, but the power is very, very less. That is, the common public in our country is more when compared to the most powerful person. Say, for example, I can tell you, you take billionaires in our country. So billionaires, who can be called as a billionaire? Any person who is having 500 crores of net worth can be called as billionaire. What do you mean by net worth? I may possess a property and the property may have a value. Okay, the total value of all my properties minus the loan that I have to pay others, that should be more than 500 crores. So this 500 crores is called as net worth. So a person who have this 500 crores, he can be called as a billionaire. So that numbers in India is approximately only 150 people. So 150 people in India, they're having more than 500 crores of net worth as per the statistical details. So the more and more the power goes, the number of people in that category will become less. So that is why in this triangle, if you see at the top position, the triangle size will be less as compared to the lowest portion of the triangle. So we'll see now the stratification based on different types. First of all, how do they stratify a group of people based on a class? Class in the sense the economic class, that is the money or property or the value that they possess. The individuals, based on the individual's value, that is individual's economic class, they have been divided into 3 types. One is lower class and middle class and upper class. As I said, these upper class people is less in numbers, but the net worth of these people will be more than the net worth of the lower class people. And when you take the next category, that middle class people, the number of people who are available here will be more than the upper class people. And the least case, if you take the lower class people, the economic status of these people will be very low, and the number of people falling under this category will be more than the other two categories. So based on the money that they possess, based on the wealth of these people, they have been stratified into three classes here. So here you can see another model that carries the triangle again. So this model is also based on the economic class of different people, and it has been divided into 5 different classes. So first one is upper class, second one is upper middle class, third one is lower middle class, then working class and the lower class. So working class, that will include the laborers and working community of our country, and that working class and lower class will constitute more out of the total population. The difference between this particular model and this model is that here it is divided into 3 classes, but here for technical convenience and to clearly identify the difference between different classes, it has been further divided into 5 classes. In addition to the 3 classes, it has been divided into 5 classes. So next, the stratification was done to differentiate different categories of people. What kind of people are existing in our society? Okay, starting from the top class, that is the 1% class. Why it is called as 1% class? That is the richest class, that is the richest people in our society. It is very, very meager when compared to all the other classes. You can see the number, it is not even 1%, it is less than 1%. So this is the class, what I said exactly as the billionaires. So the person who possesses more than 500 crores of net worth with them, you can be called as this 1% class, and it is very meager in number. Followed by that, you have the salaried elite people. Elite people in the sense their salary for a month or a year will be more than most of the people in our country. So the salaried elite people will be more than the 1% caste people. And followed by the precariat. The precariat is the third category of people. The precariat is nothing but, here what happens, the person, the individual will have an insecure salary or insecure job. That is, the job is not so permanent. He may lose the job at any point of time in his life, and he may lose his salary. The salary may come down or it may go up at any point of time. So he don't feel secure to live in this country. So there is no secure job or secure salary for these kind of peoples, and that is the third category. The fourth category is the working poor category. That is the laborers and persons who receives daily wages, which is very, very meager. They will be falling under this category. As the population of our country is 138 crores approximately, most of the people in our country will be falling under this category of the working poor category. And the salary, or you can call it as income, for these people will be very meager, approximately around 300 rupees per day. And the last category of people, that is the majority of the people in this triangle, that is people who receive social benefits such as a citizen salary. That is the senior citizens of our nations, the retired army officials, retired government officials, those people will be falling under this category. They'll be more in numbers, and they get access through the governments directly, and they enjoy some benefits also, but it is found to be very meager when it is compared to all the other classes. So these are the 5 ways in which people in our country has been categorized and stratified into different categories. So now we'll see about what are the factors based on which the people in our country have been stratified, have been grouped. Okay, what are the determinants of this stratification? Based on what criteria the stratification is being done? The first and foremost factor based on which stratification is done is wealth. So it is measured in quantity or assessed in quality. Example, income and living standard. So income, it is a quantitative measurement, that is based on the salary. They will be categorized into different group. Okay, low income group, high income. But living standard is nothing but you can take it as standard of living, that is the amount of money spent by an individual in a particular day. So rich people, they will be spending more money in a particular day, and the average poor people, they will be spending less money in a particular day. Based on the expenditure pattern of different people, they will be categorized as different groups. And second factor is ancestry. It refers to nationality, ethnic background, that is the nature, length of residence in the area, family reputation, etc. That is how long you have been living in this country, how long you have been living in this nation, in this area. That will decide the group into which you will be falling under. The third one is functional utility of the individual. That is based on the education that they possess, occupation and skills, they will be categorized into different categories and different groups of people. The fourth one is religion. Just by not considering anything, just by considering the religion itself, some people discriminate a particular group of people into a separate category. And the final one is biological structure. That is, as I already told you, there may be some stratifications or grouping of people based on their age, that is young age, middle age group, old age group, and also through gender, that is male and female discriminations. Okay, so these are the factors based on which the stratification will be done in our society. So based on the stratifications, okay, there are different types of stratification. Okay, ethnic stratification is one. It occurs in the society in which two ethnic or racial groups exist and one dominates the other over a long period of time. That is, the whole society will be under two categories. They will just separate it into two categories, and one is the dominating category and the other one is less dominating category. The later part will dominate the other part. Okay, so this social basis for this stratification in society involves growth of a system of ranked strata which is inside the society. So based on the dominations also, the stratification is being done. So this, I think everyone is very clear about this problem that has existed last year in the United States of America. So here the stratification happened, the discriminations happened based on the color and race of the people, where what happened in US, the black peoples have been pushed to out of the corner of the country, and there are some conflicts in that nation, and some disputes have not been settled in that country. So this is a perfect example for this stratification. Okay, next we'll see about the functions of stratification, right? The means of accomplishing essential jobs in the society, that is the ultimate function. Because based on the stratification only, sometimes the job allocation will be done in our country, because the rich will always be the rich and the poor will always be the poor. So when we give a good opportunity, job opportunity for the least powerful people, they will come up in their life. So at this point, the stratification is a must. Regulation and control of individual and group relationship, that is, who can dominate, who can be a slave. To decide these things also, people stratify other human beings. Then to contribute to social integration structures and also for simplification. Suppose if we want to give some benefits to a particular group of people, if we don't have a separate groups, we cannot give benefits to a particular group of people. Unless or otherwise we stratify them with some different groups, we can simplify the number of population that is in our country, and then we can give specific benefits to a specific group of people. But that stratification should be done only based on age, gender, or sometimes income level or education level, but it should not be done based on the caste. Right. So now we will see some of the different forms of social stratification. That is, stratification is done based on different forms. The first form of stratification was done long back in our globe, that is slavery. This term slave is used to denote a man whose law and custom regard as the property of another. That is, there will be a slave, so his rules and regulations, his property, everything is some other's. He will be working for some other person. Okay, so the master's power over the slave is unlimited. They can do anything what they can do. Slaves are in lower condition and have no political rights. So the basis of slavery is economic. That is, based on the economic level of the person, they have been taken as slavery, and these slaves will be working under these rich people, and all they can do is they can simply exploit these kind of low income people. The next form of social stratification is estates. This is one of the best examples. You can see these kind of things even in cinemas, where there will be estate owner who can called as landlords. Okay, so these people will keep some of the slaves under them, right? So here this has been followed in the medieval period based on the social stratification. What happened? They represented a broad division of labor having definite functions to perform. right? So that is, they have the highest power people called king, followed by there are some tenants in chief, they will have lands. Okay, they are the owner of the lands, they will do cultivation practices. And followed by them, there will be lords, that is knights. Okay, in Tamil, they call it as Talabadi, right? So followed by that, there will be some peasants living in that area, and the number of population who is coming under this category will be more as compared to the other three categories. Peasants are nothing but these persons will possess only a meager land, that is, for example, 0.5 acres or 1 acres to their credit. So they don't carry cultivation. If they carry cultivation also, it will be combined, that is called as cooperative farming. Okay, so these people will be coming under the lost category. Right. So next form of social stratification is based on the caste. So as I already told you, this particular form of stratification should be avoided, and slowly this form of stratification is getting lesser and lesser in our country. Okay, what is this caste system? It is peculiar to our country, that is India. In the first place, caste is connected with economic differentiation, right? Mostly they differentiate different castes based on the economic level. It is more apparent when we consider the four traditional varnas, where there is a clear specification of occupations. So they have divided people based on caste and also based on colors. So based on the occupation that they possess, they have been divided into four different group of people. That is Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Okay, based on these colors, their occupation have been defined. Say for example, the Kshatriyas, mostly they will be warriors and kings, and Vaishyas, they will be merchants and landowners, and Shudra, there will be a common person and peasants and some servants. So based on the occupations, they have been divided into different group of people, and each and every group of people have been given with a separate color. So this system of stratification is based on caste, and this needs to be avoided. But in the fortunate way, I can tell this has been slowly getting eradicated in our society. So next one is based on social class. As I already told you, this is based on the economic level of people. The more and more the money that we possess, the more and more we go up in the class stratification, right? When I have more money, I'll be considered in the upper class, right? Okay. Right. Then we'll see about the types of social stratification. There are two types. One is caste and class. That is what we have seen. So there are some differences between these two stratifications. I can tell one by one. So first, if you take caste, it is a social category whose members are assigned a permanent status within a given social hierarchy. That is, once they are born, even though they don't possess any money, even though they don't go for a job, even though they simply sit like a pillar in their home, they'll be treated as socially hierarchy in the position. Okay, but whereas in social class, what happens? This class may change in their lifetime. Say, for example, if a person is born in the high class, he can become even middle class, and the same person can become in the future as low class. So it can be changed at any point of time, the class, but the caste will never get changed. They will just push something on your head and they will make it like it is permanent. Right. So there are some differences between class and caste systems in our country. When you take, I'll just tell some of the salient differences between these things, right? So the labels on class patterns, it may be vague. That is, it may get changed in the future. Now, a person is called as a high income people, he can become low level, right? So anything can happen. But caste system, what they fix something onto the person and it remains rigid and it remains same throughout his life, right? And regarding the material objects, the possession of valued objects increases as class position increases. Yes, if a guy becomes high class from middle class, the possession of valued objects that he possesses, that will be more, right? In caste pattern, the possession of valued objects increases as caste position increases, right? And the last, you can see the justification of system, the status which is given here in class pattern, which is achieved. That is, we will work for it and we will achieve a position. Say, for example, if I want to excel in a sports in a particular game, I will excel and I will get some awards, I will get some money, etc. Okay, it is what I achieve. But whereas in caste pattern, without doing anything, some of the so-called high-class society people, they will take, whenever they're born, without doing anything, they will take all the privileges. So without achieving anything, they will be pushed with a different name, that is status ascribed. So if a status comes because of my hard work, it is called as status achieved. If a status comes because of the force by someone, the name of caste, it is called as status ascribed. Yes, so this is what I was exactly mentioning. In the left hand side, you can see a person who wins a medal and prize money that individual earns on his own. Okay, it is based on his personal skills, abilities, and efforts. But whereas in ascribed status, once a baby is born, based on the caste system, that baby will be given with special privileges in all the walks of life. So now we'll see about the other difference between this caste and class system. So in caste system, it is closed and lifelong. There will not be any change. As I said, in class system, it is mobile and open. That is, anybody can fall into low income group. Anybody can fall into middle income group. Anybody can fall into high income group. Even they call it as a low caste, that person can also become a billionaire. Nobody can stop them in achieving such a status. So that is why it is called as mobile. It is changeable. And in caste system, it is immobility and inherited status. That is, from nature it will be there. But in class system, it is reward that is determined by what you have achieved in your life. If you achieve something, you will be given with high class. If you don't achieve anything, you will be given with low class. And as I said, it is ascribed one. It comes automatically by a group of people. But whereas in class system, it is the property and the power which are important. So in class system, there is every possibility of individual mobility, and in caste system, there is no possibility of individual mobility. And in class determines human positions in larger social order, but it is not fixed. It can change at any point of time. But in caste system, it determines human position in larger social order. Right. So what happens if there is discrimination like this in our society? There will be high inequality in our society. Inequality in the sense, the income of people will not be same. Okay, there will be huge differences. You can have very fewer rich people and you can have more number of poor people. So there will be discrimination among people. There will be income inequality and privileges inequality, inequality in power, inequality in status. That will remain in our country. So in this picture, you can clearly see the power rests with one single person. And whereas in the other side, there are many people there in the right hand side, but they don't have any power. That is why they are at the top. So this system of social stratification will definitely lead us to inequality in terms of human existence. Right. So what will happen when there is social stratification in our life? It may lead to lots of inequality. Very particularly, there will be inequality in health sector, education. Some people will be given with good education, not everyone. And it bounds individual actions, specifications of social roles. That is, you have to do this work and you are allowed to do only this work. That will be given for different categories. I mean, different categories of people will be given with a particular job alone. That will also happen when there is social stratification. And societal laws will come. It will be different for people, and who should live and who should die will be decided by the person who have the power. So because of these reasons, this stratification has to be taken in a serious note. So there are other consequences in our society when there is social stratification. That is, low-income mothers are more likely to have low birth weight babies because they don't have access to good food. And the poor people have a low life expectancy regardless of race or ethnicity. Right? They may live only for 40 years, 30 years, 50 years because of the malnutrition. Babies born in poverty are significantly more likely to die before their first birthday. That is a worst scenario that is happening in our country. So before reaching 12 months of time, a baby will die because of malnutrition. Right. So if the same thing persists for a long period of time, the same situation, continues for a long period of time, what could be our future? That there is a big question mark with respect to our future. So what will happen? The left hand side, you can see the population dynamics of our country. You can differentiate the population of different group of people. As I said, in the left corner, you can see the elite people who are very less in number. Approximately, they constitute 25% of the total population. And there are, on the other end, there are some scoundrels, thieves, and bad fellows contributes 5% in our society. So apart from these group of people, the remaining 70% of people will be a common man. Okay, they will be falling under middle income group or below middle income group. They don't have any caste discriminations. Okay, they don't like caste discriminations, etc. Right? So what happens? Some part of this common man's privileges, status, benefits will be sucked by the left-hand side elite people, and the other part of the benefits, privileges, and other important things of these common man will be sucked by these scoundrels, thieves, and the bad people. Okay, if the same thing persists, you can go to the right-hand side now. The rich people will be very meager in number, but still all the power will be rested in the hands of those rich people. And the upper middle class people, they also will enjoy all the benefits. The hard-hitting community will be the middle class, and everyone else, that is the low class people. Okay, so whatever benefits that comes, it may not be coming to these people, it will just reach the rich people, and there will be inequality persist in our country. Okay, so that's what today's class. Okay, so this topic, since it is very sensitive and it can decide the future of our country also, this topic has to be taken in a serious note. And I hope the education is the only key for a successful future, because when the education is common for everyone, irrespective of their caste, color, or any discriminations, each and every individual will have same power as that of the other. So thank you. Thank you so much for the patient listening. We will again meet with some other lecture. Thank you.